I'm just gonna run through Extreme Rules 2011, and before I start, I always say this before I review a wrestling pay-per-view. I don't actually pay for the pay-per-view. Like, I read off the results. I have them right now, and and I do know the stories going into the match. It's just I don't have the money to pay for the pay-per-view, so I'm forced to use my imagination as to what happened. So I'm just gonna give my thoughts on what I think of each result. So, the first match was the dark match, which was, dark matches, you don't actually see them, they're for the crowd. It was Sin Cara and Tyson Kidd, and Sin Cara beat Tyson Kidd, so, it's kind of sad about Tyson Kidd's situation. I mean, like, no one cares about him now. Like, they tried to work him in an angle against David Hart Smith and Daniel Bryan. Like, he was supposed to run for the United States Championship, but the crowd never liked him. Like, even when he turned heel, the crowd never really booed him. Like, I didn't really hear any reaction, so it's kind of sad that he's reduced to jobber status. And Sin Cara, he's new, and he's actually made a pretty good impression, so I'm really just waiting for, like, the first storyline they're going to put him in, because I want to see how this guy does. Sin Cara defeated Tyson Kidd, if I didn't mention that. So, first official match was Randy Orton versus CM Punk in a last man standing match. And before I start, Randy Orton defeats CM Punk, and the storyline here is like Randy Orton. This goes back to 2008. Randy Orton, when he was part of still in Legacy, he cost CM Punk his World Heavyweight Championship. Like, I think it was, what happened? They injured him, like he punted him in the head, and he had to vacate it. So the problem with this is that storyline should have ended maybe early 2009 or in the same year. And the fact that they're still that they brought this story from 2008 to 2011 is it's a real step back. But I do like Randy Orton, I do like CM Punk, so like they do have they do have a chemistry, with like the heel and the face. So oh, and this is probably the last of this feud in my opinion, because I'm pretty sure, like, didn't Randy Orton get drafted to SmackDown? So I don't know. Anyways, next match, Kofi Kingston versus Sheamus for the United States Championship. And I actually looked on Wikipedia. This match was announced during the event, so this was not planned. It was not announced until the pay-per-view. And Kofi Kingston defeated Sheamus here, which is a little sad because, like, Sheamus did not hold the U.S. Championship for so long. Like, they made such a big deal. Like, I am. Okay, that's my. Gonna try my best Sheamus impressions. It's probably gonna suck. I am Sheamus, and I'm gonna be the next United States champion. And there was that thing where he put his career on the line against Daniel Bryan, and he won the match. So he only held it for like what was it, like a month before he lost it to Kofi Kingston. So what was the point of that? It was a tables match. That's what it says here. So it's kind of ironic. Like, didn't Sheamus beat John Cena in a tables match? So ironic. No other thoughts on that. Like, I don't really care. Next match. Michael Cole and Jack Swagger defeat Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler in the tag team country whipping match. I haven't really seen a country whipping match since it was Jerry Lawler versus Coach. That's in the good old days. And I don't really know what to say, but I'm kind of tired of seeing the heels always one up on Jerry Lawler. Like the storyline seems very one-sided. Like the only time like Lawler, I think, actually got a pretty good hit on Cole was at WrestleMania, and it mainly came from Stone Cold. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say about this feud. I mean, it's a feud between the commentators. It's not something I'm really interested in. It's actually kind of sad to see Jack Swagger here, because he used to be the world heavyweight champion. Now he's in this feud that's kind of like a mix of comedy and yeah. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's an actual feud. It's more of a comedy act because it's a feud between the commentators. Anyways, next up we have Rey Mysterio versus Cody Rhodes in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And Rey Mysterio defeated Cody Rhodes, so I don't know if it's the end of that feud. Like if you haven't been following, the feud here is actually kind of dumb, but Rey injured Cody's face, and if you don't know if you don't know his gimmick, and if you don't, then you shouldn't be watching this. Then Cody Rhodes' image is he's a pretty boy. That's it. And Rey Mysterio, apparently when he 619 Cody, he injured his face. So he became undashing Cody Rhodes. Like he has to wear a plastic mask because he's ugly. And they upped his theme to like this really grungy kind of thing. Because he's all hideous and ugly now. And that's what the feud is about. Like Cody's mad that he's undashing and Rey's like, it wasn't my fault, it was an accident. And yeah, that's where the feud is based on. And in my opinion, I don't really know if this is the end of it, because if you look at the scoreboards, like they have one win in a pay-per-view. Like Rey lost at WrestleMania, Cody lost at Extreme Rules, so maybe they'll do one more. Next up, Layla defeats Michelle McCool in a no DQ loser leaves the WWE. Layla wins, and I don't know if Michelle is officially retiring, but she may have requested to lose this one because, you know, Undertaker had that concussion and, you know, they're married, so, like, I don't know, I made that connection, so, I don't know, if you actually know why she's leaving, then feel free to tell me. Maybe she's not leaving at all, and maybe she'll pull a John Cena and just be like, I'm fired, but I'll keep popping up until you rehire me. I don't really care about Layla or Michelle McCool anyway, so next up. This one is actually my favorite result on the list, because I've been waiting for Christian to be champion for so long. Like, it was Christian versus Alberto Del Rio for Edge's World Heavyweight Championship, like, because, you know, Edge had to retire, so he had to vacate it in a ladder match. Christian wins. Like, I heard he won because Edge distracted Alberto. Yeah, it's all fine though, because Christian, how long has he been in the E? Like, I have to look, but this is his very first reign as world champion for so long, and he's finally champion. And if they let Del Rio win, I would have been pissed, because the amount of time Christian has been in the E and not been champion is it was kind of disappointing. So he's finally champion, which has made me happy now. You know, they can't, and in my opinion, they can't give the title to Del Rio yet. He's still too new. So no, he's good. He's a good heel, and he leaves a good impression, but he's still too recent. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, nothing else to say there. Next up, this was another add-in match, like the Kofi Kingston versus Sheamus. Big Show and Kane defeat Wade Barrett and Ezekiel Jackson in a lumberjack match for the tag team championship. I have nothing really to say there, but it would be really weird if they lost the championship to Nexus again in like that short period of time. So nothing else to say there. Except when I see Wade Barrett's name, I'm kind of curious why they did not put the Intercontinental Championship on here. It could be anyone's guess, but whatever. Now the last match. Seriously, I mean, like, how many reigns has he been in? Like, it was John Cena versus The Miz versus John Morrison in Steel Cage Triple Threat for the WWE Championship. John Cena wins. I'm not trying to come off as a John Cena hater, but like, he's champion again. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, he's champion again. And I looked on the Wikipedia. Like, if you look at the Wikipedia near the end, it's like this. Someone not Cena, Cena, not Cena, Cena. Like the list of they have a list of champions. Like it goes like Cena, not Cena, Cena, not Cena, and then the only time it kind of ruined it was recently. But now he's champion again. I hope it's short because like I really don't like seeing Cena as champion. And it's not because I don't hate him. It's because I see him as champion so many freaking times. It's like it's getting ridiculous. Anyways, yeah, I don't even like the Miz, but I would have liked to see him retain. Like I don't know, he's a good heel. He's okay as a wrestler, but he's a pretty good heel. And John Morrison, he's never been champion, so I don't know why they decided to not let him win. And let Cena win. Anyone's guess. So, if anyone has any comments, feel free to comment. Like, that's my new catchphrase at the end of each video. So, Extreme Rules. Overall, I'm not really too unhappy with the results. Maybe one or two. But, overall, I think it's an improvement over like WrestleMania's results. So, yeah.